Now I want to finish off with something that I've been meaning to do for a long time, and we really have to do it today. So if you stick with me here, this is something that we have to do, because unfortunately I've looked it up, and unless it's in Hebrew, it's almost impossible to find this topic. And I've been meaning to do it for months, it just never gets to it. Yeah, if you want, I'll order you one, and you give me the money. It's not big deal.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Because
I want
to read the English, so that way I understand what I'm reading.
So, now that we know what Hashem means by korbanot, what is the korbanot in our generation? It's our prayers. What gets us to get our prayers answered? We know we need it to be genuine. What gets our tshuva to be taken seriously? When we're serious. Now we need to know what gets us away from Hashem. What gets Hashem to say, this guy's lost. This guy's ruining himself. This guy's committing suicide every day. Now we've already talked about Chilul Hashem in the past. We've talked about Shabbat. We've touched a little bit about wasting seed. But not enough. And unfortunately on the internet in English, there's not enough of it. So whether it's for you guys that are sitting in front of me, married or single, or it's for anyone that's watching it, is a really big need for someone to go over some of the things about wasting seed, because there are only two types of people. There's this guy that reached out to me the other day, and misken, he's in a big problem right now. He's married for 13 years, but he just realized that he's not allowed to marry a non-Jew. Hashem is real, and the Torah is real. And he started doing tshuva, but he's still stuck in this situation. So he's marrying a non-Jew. He has a couple of kids with her. But he wants to do tshuva. And the reform conversion that his wife did means absolutely zero. And she confirmed it with him when she told him, listen, I'm never going to keep any of the mitzvot that you're doing right now. I'm not interested at all. Why is she not interested in it? Because the Judaism that she saw was a joke. She saw reform. She saw freaking people giving bar mitzvahs to dogs. Putting tefillin on them. Why would she take that seriously? Even Christianity is better than that. At least they don't mock Hashem. It's idol worship, but if they don't mock Hashem, they don't know it's idol worship. They don't intentionally go do it because it's idol worship, but the reality of it is. But church is actually still better than reform and conservative. Because at least they don't mock the Torah. They go against it, but they don't mock it. So this woman, this poor woman, came from a different religion. She saw reform. She thinks that's Judaism. She sees them giving bar mitzvahs to dogs. Of course she doesn't want to do it. She sees the spiritual leader is a group of immodest women wearing mini skirts and short t-shirts, or homosexual. Who wants to be part of this? But that's what she thinks Judaism is, miskina. That's what she thinks Judaism is. So I don't blame her. So now we have to rework their whole thing. So now, a situation like that has several problems. The obvious problem is that we're not allowed to intermarry. We're not allowed to be with non-Jews. This is an obvious problem. We've talked about in the past. Someone that wants to guarantee themselves to pretty much destroy their connection with Hashem is going to intermarry. Someone that wants a connection with Hashem is going to fix that problem. But that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the bigger problem. The problem that affects many, many more people. The problem that affects everyone. Everyone here and everyone in the world, including the goyim. And that's wasting seed. The Pgam Habrit. Now, of course, the Jews are obligated with the mitzvah of protecting the Brit much more than the goyim. But the goyim still are not allowed to waste seed. I haven't found one source that says that they are allowed to waste seed. How do I know? How do I know that wasting seed is not only one of the foundations of this world, but everyone's obligated. Two sources. From the Torah, from Hashem's mouth himself. In Parashat Noach, there was no Judaism yet. That's why all the Goyim are considered, if they're righteous Goyim, they're considered Bnei Noach, the sons of Noach, Noahites. Hashem gave Noach 7 mitzvot, 7 laws that the entire world has to comply with. When we got the Torah, we had more, we added many more to them. But the 7 Noahide laws are really 7 that Hashem specifically told us, and all of the mitzvot out of the 613 that are common sense. Like, for example, respecting your parents. That's not part of the 7 laws of Noah. But of course, whether you're Jewish or not Jewish, you have to respect your parents. It's common sense. So anything that's common sense, both Jews and non-Jews have to keep. Jews actually have a mitzvah. It's part of the 10 Commandments and part of the 613 mitzvot. But the non-Jews have to know that this is part of the Torah. They have to do it. So before we had Judaism, before we had the Torah that we have today, Hashem saw an evil, wicked generation. They stole, they raped, they bestiality, being with animals, all types of disaster. But Chazal says in the Zohar, and also in the Gemara, that the thing that took it over the edge, that made Hashem just destroy them, is the wasting seed. How do we know this in verses? After Hashem destroyed the world, destroyed everything, only Noah's family was left, and Og Melech HaBashan, Og the giant. That's it, no one else was left. No, nothing. Or in the animals, obviously, that were in the ark. Then Hashem gives Noach the laws. And here he says this. In chapter 9, Parashat Noach, verse 6. שופך דם האדם באדם דמו יישפך, כי בצלם אלוהים עשה את האדם. It says, whoever sheds blood of a man within a man, his blood will be spilled. Because in the image of God, he made man. So, spills blood, we immediately know that's murder. But it's not just blood, it's blood of a man. Okay, so we know it's his blood. But then it says, within a man. Shofech dam adam ba'adam. The blood of a man within a man. It's wasting seed, my friends. The blood within a man, the blood of a man within a man, is your seed. Sperm. His blood, damo yishapech. Wasting seed was not acceptable even at the days of Noach. That's why Hashem destroyed the world. And that's why everyone is obligated, Goyim and Jews. Another source. Judah was one of the 12 tribes. One of the most important men that ever lived. We were called Yehudim after his name, Yehudah. Because he admitted his mistake with Tamar. But before Tamar came in and became his wife, she married two of his sons, Er and Onan. Again, this is before we received the Torah. Before we received the Torah. We didn't receive the Torah for hundreds of years later.
So they're allowed to be with two...
No. She first married Er, and then Onan. Er died, and then she married Onan, and then Onan died. Why did Hashem kill both of them? Specifically says it here. Because they wasted seed. They didn't want to get her pregnant. So they would waste the seed. They would have the semen go outside of the body. They wanted to have fun. Like they say in this generation, this wicked generation that we live in. They wanted to have fun. So they wanted to keep her pretty. They don't want to ruin our body. They wanted to have a shifcha, somebody on the side that brings kids, is the baby oven. And they wanted her. She was so beautiful, they wanted to keep her beautiful. So they married her. First guy married her. Wasted seed. Hashem killed him. Instantly. No second thoughts. No second chance.
This is whose name? Where was
This is the two sons.
the two sons of
Judah.
Judah.
And again, this is before Judaism. This is before the Torah. Wasted seed, Hashem killed him. It says specifically. It says in the verse. Onan did the same thing. Married her, because, Judah didn't know that this first son died because he was wicked. He thought he was righteous. He just thought, okay, he died. Okay, so there was a mitzvah in those days that if a brother died without bringing children to his wife, then it was a mitzvah to marry his wife and having the children pretty much be counted as if it's his brother's children. So he married her. He did the mitzvah. But he also wasn't interested in doing what Hashem wants. What does Hashem want? The first mitzvah we get in the Torah is pul. Bring children to the world. First mitzvah. He wasn't interested. He wasn't interested. He was interested in having fun. So what did Hashem do? Hashem killed him also. Before Judaism. Before we got the entire Torah. So we already know that Hashem means business when it comes down to wasting seed. This is what the Torah says about it in the Gemara and the Zohar. There's over 40 different sources. I'll try to name them when I can. But we need to know this, and whoever is watching this needs to know all of this. So hold on to your chairs, or some of this stuff is pretty rough. First of all, if we notice in the world today, unfortunately and all throughout times, there is a lot of different types of idol worship, avodah ZeRa. It says in the days of idol worship, people will consciously channel energy and forces of evil. They would use avodah ZeRa to create evil. And usually to do these things, there's some type of fluid that is necessary. And that's why you see people that worship idols or people that worship the Satan, satanic people. It's either blood or it's semen, is what they use to this day. So this is part of the reason why it's a problem in regards to idol worship. Also it says that anyone that wastes seed should know part of the seed, you could find this out scientifically, part of the seed, part of the sperm comes from your brain, which is sent down the spine. So when a person spills his seed, he's actually wasting part of his brain, which lowers his overall function and his brain functionality and hurts his memory. Next, a person's emotions are thrown totally out of balance. This is why people that are Pgam Habrit, people that waste seed, usually have a hard time controlling their temper. They usually get mad or depressed very quickly. They get sad very quickly. They go into depression. And they don't have much self-confidence usually. Also causes premature baldness. I'm just giving you the basics. This is not even the hard stuff yet. Causes baldness or strange hair growth. Hair growing in weird places. Someone that's wastes seed loses his ability to perceive kedusha. He has a very difficult time learning Torah and doing mitzvot. It's a very hard time understanding this stuff. Every time he wastes seed, those seeds are neshamot. He's creating souls. And each one of those neshamot is considered his child. But since they realize that they came to this world without a body, they get very, very angry. And they take revenge against him. Through his life and especially after this life. So after the person's life in this world is over, first there's the cemetery. When they go to bury him, there's alachot in Yerushalayim and in Israel that a man's children are not allowed to go to his funeral. Why? Because in case he wasted seed in his life, there's fear that those demons that he created will kill his kids. And the amount of torture that they put him through after he leaves this world is never ending. Those souls take revenge against their father, causing him many problems. They also put crazy thoughts in his mind. So, for example, when you're thinking in the middle, you're serious about praying, and all of a sudden you remember this girl you met 30 years ago. That's coming from that. It's not a coincidence. It's very easy to become an idol worshiper or denying God altogether. Again, coming from the same source, which is from those bad souls. In Midrash Agadol, Parashat Vayeshev, Rabbi Yochanan says, all those who waste seed are punishable by death. Rav Ami said, it's as if he sheds blood. Rav Ashi says, it's as if he worships strange gods, strange deities. Zohar, Parashat Bereshit, talks about the evil of the generation of Noach. It says there were many evil men in those days, but their faith was not sealed until they started wasting seed. Also says it in Masechet Shabbat, Masechet Shabbat, page 41. Zohar in Parashat Vayeshev says spilling seed is more severe than all the sins, since he defiles his soul in this world and the world to come, and he cannot see the glory of the Shekhinah.
Wow.
Rav Acha Bar Yasha says in Midrash HaGadol, yes, you do have to get married soon, my friend.
You need to get married fast.
Yes. Rav Acha says, he does not receive life in the future world, so this person stands to die and does not live in the future world. No Olam Haba. More sources. Shulchan Aruch and the Rambam both says, Shulchan Aruch, page 240. Rambam also says it. Old age jumps on him. They age much faster.
Wow.
Becomes weaker. Strength leaves him. His vision goes weak. And also something very interesting that you'll notice from people is a lot of people have bad breath, and also they smell quickly. That's where it's from. Bad breath is not just from not brushing your teeth. Bad breath and bad smell, bad odor. When you have bad odor coming out of your armpits, it's from wasting seed. Because I can tell you that, again, I'm not, if my sins are for toilet, I'm not saying Lashon Hara about myself, but I can tell you before I did tshuva, and after did tshuva, before I did tshuva, my sweat was disgusting. Now I barely sweat, and whenever I sweat, it doesn't really smell at all. So,
Yeah.
I know from experience, this is legit.
I need to get married, Yaron.
Bezat Hashem, we're going to work on a shidduch for you, my
Could I
friend.
sit next to you and I could show
Bezat Hashem,
myself there?
Bezat Hashem.
Maybe they could look.
Also, Shulchan Aruch 151, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch 151 says, heaven forbid their children can die because of their sin. Or instead of dying, they'll end up becoming evil people. They'll grow up to be evil people. Now, if people don't care about their life and they don't care about their health, there's only one other thing they care about, which is money. It says it's the foundation of poverty. It causes poverty. The richest man in the world will go broke because of wasting seed. This is something also. Sharek Dusha.
There's more?
There's a lot more. There's 80 pages of this, but I'm only going to read you a few.
Wow.
I'm only going to read you another few more minutes. Hold tight.
Did you mention my name to the...
A person under the age of mitzvot, is not held accountable for his sins. Somebody that's under the age of 13 years old is not held accountable if he makes a sin. If he violates Shabbat, if he eats taref, under age 13. Under 13.
Before Bar Mitzvah.
Before Bar Mitzvah, right. It says, right. Except for one sin. There's only one sin that he does have to pay for.
Seed.
Wasting seed. Sharek Dusha. This means even children. In the Shla 100, his prayers are not accepted. He can pray as much as he wants. Not accepted. Oh no, there's more. We need to go over a lot of it. There's an amazing book called Taharat HaKodesh by Rav Aaron Rata. You listening? Taharat HaKodesh by Rav Aaron Rata. He brought sources from hundreds of places about the Brit, about the Pgam Brit, about wasting seed. He says, just like someone that protects their Brit gets 80 different types of rewards from Hashem. 80 different types of rewards from Hashem for protecting your Brit. But just like that, the one who doesn't gets 80 different types of punishments. Midah keneged midah.
80 pages.
The Zohar says, ZeRa LeVaTaLa, wasting seed, Pgam Habrit. A person that wastes seed deserves strange death, an unusual death. You know, people get into their head cut off, all types of strange death. They deserve strange death just for putting themselves in a situation where they're allowing themselves to have an erection.
Wow.
So they're saying there's a connection between like wasting seeds to the mazal of the Adam.
It is his mazal. We're gonna get there.
Motzi, ZeRa, LeVaTaLa.
Right, we're gonna get there. Chazak u'baruch. Someone that actually allowed himself to be in a situation that he got an erection, without obviously being with his wife, his prayer is not answered for 40 days, according to the Zohar. ZeRa LeVaTaLa, listen to this. ZeRa LeVaTaLa brings disaster to the entire world and causes countries to conquer Israel. One guy, little 18-year-old moron, wastes seed, causes Israel to be conquered. The entire nation is one. The entire nation is one. Person that wastes seed does not leave Gehenom. We talked about that before, but it's good to embellish it again. The source is Zohar. Person wastes seed intentionally is not considered Jewish. And his shape in heaven, you know, your shape of your neshama, looks like your body. But a person that wastes seed and does not do tshuva before he dies, his shape, when he goes to Shamayim, turns into an animal. Either a dog or a pig. causes sickness, depression. In the Zohar Parashat Pinchas, ZeRa LeVaTaLa causes poverty. Poverty chases him. Meaning, even if he's making money, eventually poverty is going to chase him. Something's going to happen, he's going to lose everything. Doesn't matter. $1 million he has, $5,000 he has, $1 billion, doesn't matter. Waste seed like that, poverty is going to chase him. At any given moment, he could lose everything.
I just lost a lot of money in taxes.
Waste seed. You're already doing tshuva, Baruch Hashem. Just being in the shul, you're doing tshuva. Now this is next part. We'll finish off with this. This part shows you the confusion in this world. Shows you the confusion in this world because I know that nobody here, and I bet you most people that are watching this show, no one has ever heard this. Everyone knows, even the Goyim know who Rabbi Nachman from Breslev is. Right? But when you think about Rabbi Nachman from Breslev, what do you think about? The funny looking hats, dancing in the van, the guitar,
The Breslev movement.
the little Breslev movement, yeah, the little payas. Okay. All of that is not Rabbi Nachman. Rabbi Nachman was a tzaddik. Rabbi Nachman wrote a lot about Pgam, wasting seed. I'm going to give you only a small taste, maybe 2% of a couple of things that he wrote. Not even 2% of what he wrote. Someone who fixed his Pgam, he was wasting seed but did tshuva. It is impossible for him to fall into the desire of money. Meaning, the desire of money is the biggest, other than wasting seed. Wasting seed is the most difficult thing to overcome without being married. So, other than that, it's money. People are chasing money constantly. So someone that overcomes and does tshuva for wasting seed, he'll never fall for money. Money is not going to be he's not going to be attested by money.
Okay.
Why? If you already passed this test,
Money is not an issue.
no, money is not an issue. When someone does tshuva for wasting seed, now it's almost impossible when someone does tshuva in general, it's almost impossible for a person to fix all of their sins. There's many he's going to miss. There's different details. However, when someone does tshuva for the brit, he automatically repairs the damage from all of his sins. Obviously, he has to do his best with everything else, but the point is that even the ones he missed are going to be fixed. This is Likutei 1, Torah 29. Someone wants protection. When traveling, it can only happen if he has Shmirat Habrit, keeps his brit. Someone that violates this brit, very difficult for them to pray with concentration. Likutei 1, Torah 50. Someone wastes seed should be very careful from dogs and also from weapons. You should never go shooting guns in the for fun.
Why?
Because he's supposed to get a death penalty for what he's doing. So when he puts himself in a situation of danger, that's usually when the mekatrigim, those demons will go to the people that are the spirits that have a case against him will go to Shamayim and says, look, he's a sinner, and he's putting himself in danger. Now, when the Yetzer Hara, the Satan, has a wife, Chazal says she's worse than him. So bad that you're not even allowed to say her name. And every time you waste seed,
He's waiting.
it goes to her. And she gives birth to those demons. Every time you waste seed, scientifically they've estimated that it's about 300 million seeds come out of your body with every ejaculation. So there's a lot of demons that you're creating, and she's in control of them. She will only use them against you, not for you.
This is if she
So-
Rasha.
She,
No, yes.
no,
but,
you don't understand.
She's waiting for you.
She's
to
wasting.
spill
No,
out.
this is okay. You're thinking I'm talking about a regular woman. No.
No. Oh, yeah, I understand.
This is the Yetzirah's wife.
I got you.
So every time you waste seed, she's the one that gets pregnant, and she creates these demons.
Gotcha.
So much so that she'll even disturb you in your sleep, either by sending demons to mess with you, giving you nightmares, giving you sex dreams, all types of things. She'll torture you during your sleep. That's why people that waste seed tend to have wet dreams, where they have, even when they don't want to waste seed, it still happens. This is so bad that every single person, Hashem decided after creating the world, Chazal says that what does Hashem do since He created the world? It says mezavek zivugim. He brings couples together. Each person has a woman for him. Someone that wastes seed can lose his destined wife. His perfect zivug, he can lose her because he's wasting seed. But by fixing the sin, a person will find, not only he can lose his wife because he wasted seed, but if he fixes it, he will find his destined wife, and she will not be rebellious against him, meaning she will love him. But someone that's married and wastes seed will find that he has a very difficult time with his wife. She's always going against him, even when she agrees with him. Her neshama knows that he's evil. She may not know he's wasting seed. He's in the bathroom alone. He's, with his friends at some disastrous strip club. She doesn't know he's wasting seed. But our neshama knows. And because our neshama knows, naturally she's going to go against him. Oh, I'm going to go to the store. No, why are you going to the store? Why are you going to the store? What are you doing at the store? I just want to go groceries. No, why? Why now? No, go tomorrow. It makes no sense, this argument. She's going to argue with him about everything. Everything. Why? Because our neshama knows she can't trust him. He's evil. He's wicked. Lekutei 2, Torah 87. Getting drunk causes a person to waste seed. Sefer Amidot 2, Shichrot.
Pages.
Oh, there's a lot more. I can't read all of it.
I don't do all 80 pages now.
I'm not going to do all of it now.
And this is only about everything here is about
Yeah, about that.
I read all of it, and I highlighted some of the things I wanted to tell you guys. There's a lot more. This is not even, what I'm telling you is not even 1% of what's here.
I need to find my match.
God bless him. When someone wastes seed, they're wasting their parnasa. Money runs away with it. So what's the tikkun? How do you fix it?
You do tshuva.
Okay.
Yes,
Let's explain how bad the sin is. We realize how bad the sin is. When there's a sin that the Gehenom doesn't stop, just stopping by itself, it's not so fast. There's more to it. This is to give us an understanding of what real tshuva is about. We need to know this.
A lot of suffering.
The Ari Kadosh The Ari HaKadosh gave us a lot of the secret parts of the Torah. Also a lot of the secret parts of how to do tshuva. It says someone that wasted seed one time. Has to fast 84 times.
84?
one time. תתחיל מעכשיו עד סוף החיים שלך. אוכלים פעם אחת בשנה. We eat one time a year.
Now what do they used to do? Hold on a second, I'll give you guys an answer to it. Hold on. What's the shortcut to these fasts that they used to do? If you fast 2 days in a row, which is 48 hours straight, no food, no drink, it counts as 27 fasts. But if you fast 3 days in a row, 72 hours in a row, hold on, I'll give you guys, this is going to get to a point. I know no one here is fasting 2 days in a row. You fast 3 days in a row, it counts as 72 hours straight, it counts as 40 fasts. And a person is not allowed to break up those fasts. Meaning that if a person only needs 10 fasts, so he does the 2 days in a row, he can't use, since he got 27 fasts, he can't use the 17 for something else. He fasted 2 days, that's it. But the reality of it is that in our generation we're too weak to barely fast on Yom Kippur. You tell people that they have fast before Purim. There's a fast before Purim, 2 days before Purim. There's a fast. You tell people, oh, come on, it's not mandatory, right? It's not mandatory. It's not like Yom Kippur or Tisha B'Av, right? So, Ari HaKadosh, in his generation, people would fast. This is serious people. We don't have that strength. So there's a different way.
ZeRa from the sunrise until sundown. That's it.
Yes, but people still don't do it.
Yeah.
People still don't do it. The easy fast. Yes, they still don't do it. So, what do we do when we wasted seed? I said if you don't even know how many times you wasted seed, then you have to, instead of 84 fasts, each one of the fasts, you should give tzedakah equivalent to one meal. To one meal. And if you don't know how many times you've done it in your life, you should do it once a year. 84 fasts times one meal. So let's say, for example, one meal is, I don't know,
$20.
$10, $15, $20. How much does one meal cost?
10.
Okay, $10.
$10 you could buy a meal?
Sandwich, nice sandwich.
Okay, you could buy a nice sandwich for $10?
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 times 84. It's $840 tzedakah for the year. We'll fix that wasting seed. But you have to do it every year. And in reality, if you did it a lot, you should do it more than once a year. But, again, this should be possible for somebody to do at least once a year. Once a year, you give the $840 to tzedakah. That is one of the ways of fixing wasting seed.
Yeah, but that's 180. If you give $840 a year, that's only for one time.
Okay.
No, if you don't, you're only doing it for that 1 year. Yes.
No, I'm saying it's one.
Yeah, one time.
Technically, yes.
84 is for one time.
Yes. But they even said if somebody doesn't even know how to do it, how many times they've done it, maximum they'll have to do these 84 fasts is 3 times. So
if you did it 3 years, you're clean.
Right. So $840, but this does not count as part of your maaser. This does not part of your other tzedakah.
So
This is separate. This is purely tshuva.
one time.
Another thing is that tefillah. When you're doing not only the tefillah, when you're doing an amidah, and when you're doing vidui, to think about the times you wasted seed. Not only that, but there's something called in amidah, in tefillah shmona esrei.
Okay.
Think about it. There's certain parts of the prayer talks about sins, so you have to really think about it and tell Hashem you're sorry. When you're doing vidui, when you're doing tachnun, think about that stuff. Think about the wasted seed that you had.
Do it slowly.
Do it slowly. Think about it. Say you're sorry. But also there's something called itbodedut. Itbodedut is praying, just not shachrit, mincha, and arvit, praying with your own words, talking to Hashem, which you should be doing anyway. Once a day for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, for an hour, whatever you have time. And during that time, think about the sin and be sorry for it. There's different parts of Tehillim to read called Tikkun HaKlali. That's also good for it. And going to the mikveh. Go to the mikveh as often as you can, at least once a week. If you've wasted a lot of seed, definitely should go once a week, if not more.
That's before praying or after praying?
Whenever you can. But the biggest thing is, as part of the tshuva, is to stop it. Now, how do you stop it?
You say if you do it, and I'm not.
Yeah, but you constantly have. It's like saying to a crackhead, "Stop taking drugs." He's not going to stop. How?
You learn Torah.
You don't put yourself in a position where...
Right, so what do? Okay, first and foremost, you have to clean your house of all the garbage that you have. All the magazines, all the movies, your television in general.
Internet.
And then you make
your television in general. If you have a hard time on the internet, there's an application that's free I could tell you about. I forgot what it's called, but I posted it on Facebook. There's an application for free to help you not go to terrible sites on the internet. Get rid of the magazines. Get rid of the movies. Even movies like movies that don't have nudity, but they have attractive people. All movies. You shouldn't be watching that stuff. Newspapers, magazines, all that garbage that's going to constantly remind you of that world. You have to get rid of it. You have to watch your eyes. You can't look at every woman that moves. You can't look at every woman that moves. You want to have a successful marriage? You want to have kedusha? You have to be holy because Hashem is holy. That's what He told us in the Torah. You have to be holy because I am holy. That's what He says. Am Yisrael, you're holy. You have to be holy. You can't look at every woman that moves. You have to look at the floor. Look at the sky. Look at something else. Stop looking at women. Watch your eyes. Watch them on, you can't look at it on TV, and you also definitely can't look at it on the street. If you don't watch your eyes, what's going to happen? Okay, you don't have the magazines. You don't have all this other stuff, but you're constantly looking at people at work. So what happens? You go home, you have one of these dreams, or you're bored, which is the next thing. Make sure you're never in a situation where you're bored, because Chazal says boredom leads to sin. You sit there, you're bored, you have nothing to do, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's what happens. That's real life. Chazal knew real life. Just because they were tzaddikim doesn't mean they just knew Torah. They knew everything. They knew the entire world. Boredom leads to sin. So, make sure that you have your schedule packed with stuff to do. You finish work, you have a shiur Torah to go to. You have a book you're going to read. You have a shiur you're going to watch. You have stuff to do. Don't hang out in the bathroom a lot. Don't stay in the bathroom for a long time. Because, again, you're there for a while, you're naked, leads you to thoughts.
It's boring.
Also, one thing, by the way, that Chazal said, that's midat chasidut, but it's also something that you're not even allowed to touch that part of your body. You're not even allowed to touch that part of your body. So what do? You want to go to the bathroom? You can use your sleeve, or you can use a napkin. Or I'm serious. I know it's hard. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds ridiculous. But when someone has a problem...
Oh, if you have a problem.
If someone has a problem, they have to do whatever they can. And in general, you're not allowed to touch it anyway. That's an actual... you're not allowed to touch it. Yeah, you're not allowed to touch it. Unless you're obviously with your wife or something. But the point is that it's in general. Why? Because you're going to put... Again, like I told you. Put a fence around my fence. And make sure, regardless of whether you're married, single, have a problem, don't have a problem, never, ever, ever, under any condition, waste seed. And do everything you can not to even look at it. There's really never a reason for you to look at your part. And for whatever reason or another, when you do, that's what happens. Don't look at it. It says here. Don't look at
So
it.
when you're married,
If you're intimate with your wife, it's different. It's different. If you're married or not married, you're still not allowed to waste seed.
you can't waste it. You have outside of her. It has to be inside.
Always has to be inside
Inside
the
of
wife.
her.
So if she's not ready for kids, the only thing you're allowed to use is birth control, or these what are they called? It's like a candle type of thing that she puts in our private part, and that in essence kills the sperm. But there's an oral pill, and there's something that she puts in that part of our body. There's two things that you're allowed. But I don't want anyone to think that it's automatically allowed. You are obligated. The first mitzvah in the Torah is pul bu. You're obligated to bring kids to the world. Just because you don't feel like having kids does not mean you're allowed to take. She's allowed to take birth control. There's only specific situations where a rabbi would tell you, and the Torah would tell you, that you're allowed not to have kids. If you don't have a boy and a girl, you have to continue having kids. Unless there's some type of major health problem, where a rabbi can say, okay, that's allowed not to have kids. But in general, if you don't have a boy or a girl, you have to continue having kids. Even if you have 15 girls, you still have to continue. And even if you have a boy and a girl, still doesn't mean you could stop. You have to have permission to stop having kids. It's very, very important mitzvah. Just because you don't feel like having more than 2 kids and a dog does not mean that the Torah allows you not to have the kids. So, again, the whole aspect of limiting birth is not as easy as it sounds, where I say, oh no, she takes birth control and it's fine. No, there's only certain conditions that a wife is allowed to limit the birth, or the husband is allowed to limit the birth. And by the way, in the Gemara, it actually says that even though it sounds to us, and even pretty much most of people, that only men should be careful of wasting seed, in the Gemara it actually says women have to be careful of it too, because it's possible for them to even take seed out of their body, which means that even if the guy tried not wasting seed, she could waste his seed, and she's sinning. And even if she knows that he's actually going to sin, she shouldn't allow him to do it. She's part of the sin. Choteh u'machti. So wasting seed, as you've gotten it for the last, half hour or so, it's a very, very serious sin. And what I told you is not even 1% of it. So Rabbi Nachman from Breslev, which is part of the information I got it from him, part of it is from Gemara, Zohar, and several other places. It's not all fun and games and walking, and driving around in vans and dancing. The real Chassidut, the real Torah, the real, Kedusha that he had, that's what he wrote about. He didn't write about, going around in vans. That's actually, desecrating his name, Yisken. Mm-hmm. People think it's just partying games. No, the tzaddikim were real tzaddikim for a reason. If you listen to the shurim by Rabbi Arush, or Rabbi Lazer Brody, the leaders of the Breslev movement right now, you see that they talk serious business. They talk about serious Torah. They don't talk about dancing on top of ends.
Go to woman.
So, serious tzaddikim, yes, you're supposed to be happy and so on, but what they wrote about, what they write about, this is what they write about. Why? Because this is the most important stuff in life. This brings, if we don't follow the Torah, it brings disaster to the world. When we follow the Torah, we have all the blessings in the world. Unfortunately, with the exception of 2 rabbis that I know of, Rabbi Mizrahi and Rabbi Alon Nava, no one in English that I know of, maybe somebody did, but that I know of, no one in English has spoken about wasting seed and put it on YouTube. Maybe they spoke about it privately, maybe they put it on YouTube, but I just never saw it. But I've looked really, really hard. Nobody speaks about wasting seed, the significance of it, how bad it is, and so on. So, in Hebrew there's a few.
Yeah.
But in English, it's very, very rare. And unfortunately, this is a sign of how weak our generation is. I don't even necessarily fault the rabbis. It's really because the crowd is so weak. The people of this generation are so weak that most people, by the time they hear the first 5 minutes of the wasting seed part, will probably shut off the lecture. If they survive this far, then they're serious. You guys survived this far, it means you're serious about Shuvah. This is not easy stuff to hear. Same thing that we talk about Shabbat. But again, just like there's 80 blessings, there's 80 curses. We need to know both of them. Be'ezrat Hashem, we all do tshuva. Both the Jews, the non-Jews, the entire world gets closer to Hashem, brings the Mashiach soon, and we're ready for him.
And now I'm serious about getting married.
Be'ezrat Hashem. Anybody have any questions? Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen. Amen.